Good. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Look in the Mirror. Sorry about that. Ooh, tripping. Welcome to Candid Convos. Boy, Quay Price. We got Chloe with us. We got C Prince. Say what's up to the people.
How y'all doing?
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
For sure. So y'all got me over here slipping.
Yeah.
Hey, we know what it is.
We know what it is.
Look, if you know, you know.
You don't know, we help you out.
For sure. Now we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. I'm trying to get myself in order over here. I'm all out of whack tonight, but we're gonna get this going. But let's say shout out to everybody joining us. I'm gonna put the link up real quick. So you guys have it. So let me do that real quick. Let me check in with y'all real quick. How was y'all week so far?
Mine's going all right.
Same. Pretty good. I can't complain. Oh, actually, since you asked, I was gonna say shameless plug, but I ain't ashamed. Y'all, I wrote a book, y'all.
Wait, you want to say
I
that
wrote
again?
a book. Wait a minute, I'm gonna grab it so I can show you guys.
Okay, all right, go ahead and grab that. She over here writing books. You see this, man?
Yeah, I didn't know she could write that good.
You tried it. You really tried it.
He sure did. He sure tried it.
My book is now available. I told you guys about this, but it's finally available. It's exclusively available on Amazon Kindle. So I published this through KDP through Kindle Publishing, and it's a prayer journal, guys. So it's the Trust God Prayer Journal. There you go. And it is a journal, but it also has prayer points and scriptures and texts. So it could be used as a devotional. It could be used as a daily read, weekly. You can revisit. It's really pretty for you guys. And it's not just for females, it's for males too. However, I don't know how confident you guys are walking around with a flower notebook like this, but yeah, I'm really proud of it, guys. This is something that I had wanted to do for a long time, but I think the only person that knew I could do it was God, because he literally co-authored this with me, guys. He literally co-authored this with me, and I'm super proud of it. All glory to God for believing in me and for pushing me to do this, because I never would have done this on my own. And thanks to my husband for bringing me. And I hope you guys check it out. I will have Quay leave a link for it in the show so you guys can purchase it, check it out. And thanks. Your girl is super excited about that.
Okay, for sure. Like I said, that's always good
Thanks,
stuff.
Erica.
Let me go ahead and get into that.
But there's somebody that's supposed to be on this panel that said he's going to be on this panel named Erica Webb. What's really going on?
Uh-oh.
No question.
Who's asking? What's going on?
I don't know, man. She down in the comments right now. Shout out to E Webb. See Prince calling you out. She down in the comments, but like I said to everybody joining right now, we've got the link on the feed, and we've also got it in all the chat feeds. What's going on? I think that's D Neil just joined us. How you doing, D Neil?
Uh-oh.
Oh, she might be muted. Okay, well, I'll give her a minute. But yeah, let me do this real quick. So let's say congratulations to Chloe on the journal or the book, as a lot of folks I'm sure will refer to it. Like I said, we are always in full support of that, right? We are always in full support of our ladies, our women being successful, going after their dreams, making stuff happen, moving forward, progressing. Let's say we are in full support of that here at Candid Convo. So I just want to make sure that that's recognized publicly. And now let's say once again, congratulations. I said we're gonna put the link up after the show. I said she can shoot me the link. I'll put it up in all of our social media feeds so you guys can go out there and get that book/journal. Get that good content that's inside of the journal. Feed yourself, feed your soul. And like I said, just get on a new page. It's really what we're trying to do. Get on a new page, and do something that's actually good for you and that actually feeds you. So like I said, we're in full support of that. So shout out to that. But yeah, just for everybody who's joined us, I've got the link in the panel. On the panel with us, and I've also got it in all of the chat feeds as well. E-Web came back. Hold on. Well, she said, "Leave me alone." She working. She said, "See, Prince, she working, man."
See, next time, E, we got you.
Working. Okay.
Look at, she said next week for sure. She keeps stalling. See, Prince. She noticed that she keeps stalling, man.
You gotta put it on the calendar. You gotta let somebody know it in advance.
Is it next week this month or next week next year? I want to know which next week you talking about.
Oh man, yeah, we had to go in on you, E-Web, real quick. All right, so man, let's get into this. I'm gonna drop this link down so we can get on into this. We got an interesting topic tonight. It's actually a dual video. But yeah, the topic for tonight. Do women want respect or do they want attention? So let me run that back again. Do women want respect or do they want attention? All right. So we're going to get on into this. All right. Throw this up on the screen so we can get this going.
Black women, do we want respect or do we want attention? I've noticed so many Black women crying out how we're oppressed, how we're being victims, how we're not protected by the Black man, quoting Malcolm X all wrong. Black women are the least protected and the most disrespected women in America. Malcolm X would look at you and call you a Jezebel, a Bathsheba. We do all this complaining about not being protected or being overly sexualized, but we go on social media and promote the stigma. I know you don't respect me, but look at my body. Being the bitter Black woman isn't trending right now. Being the loose one is. So look at me, sis. Some women look like a good night. Some women look like a good life. What do you look like? I'm sure Sarah Burton would have loved to be known for more than just her derriere and her body, but she didn't have much of a choice. We have nothing but choices, but choose to put that out in the forefront as if that's all we're worth. I love being a woman. I love my body, but I save that for my husband. Why does the world need to see my body? Respect yourself or no one else will.
All right. That's part one. It's part one. All right, so we got a second part. I said I'm gonna get them all out the way so we can get into this conversation. We got a second part to this video from a different young lady. So I'm gonna put this one up as well.
Well, I got a question for y'all Black men who like to talk in circles. Help me understand what y'all game plan is exactly, okay? Because you remember y'all like to lead, so help me understand exactly where you're leading everybody to. So you're encouraging other Black men not to get married because you swear that it doesn't make sense for y'all and y'all gonna lose so much because God forbid somebody take that PlayStation and that Xbox from you. You ain't gonna know what to do with yourself. You can't play Call of Duty, right? So the men ain't gonna get married to women, right? But the men are gonna continue to keep procreating with women, right? Which is gonna turn the women into single mothers if you don't marry them. So you then tell men don't date single mothers. So you're gonna help create a generation of single mothers and then tell those same men who created the single mothers don't date single mothers. Help me understand exactly what the game plan is. This is the reason why y'all are not allowed to lead.
Ooh, I got so much to say about that. I got so much to say about that. Oh my gosh.
All right. So 2 videos just went up. Yeah. One was from a young lady, calling out some things that she's identified. D-Nail in the back channel talking about preach. I don't know what video she's talking about, but we're going to find out. But yeah, the first young lady, she was calling out some situations or some things that she sees. And then, basically, some of the current day things, talking about how young ladies will say that they want this respect, but will get out here and basically exploit themselves, and get out here doing all type of stuff. Then we have the second young lady, who got on there, and I guess she was calling out guys and what guys tell guys to do with regard to marriage and getting with single mothers and all of that. So a couple different things in that video as well. I know that was a lot at one time. Like I said, we can always put some back up if needed, but yeah, I want to get into this conversation because I see a lot of these things as well. And I said, I'll go to you, C Prince, one sec, man. I see a lot of these things as well, right? Where we have a lot of ladies saying that, men are not respecting them. Men are not, tying back to the second video, men are not leading. Men are not doing this. Men are not doing that. But I felt like there was some stuff missing in those videos, in particular video number 2. But I'm gonna hold my thoughts for a minute. So let's get into this. C Prince, I know you was ready to get something off your chest, man. Go ahead and kick us off.
I'm gonna let the ladies get themselves because I'm gonna let them go before I go because it's not gonna be good.
Okay, all right.
Well, okay, well then cool. Let me go ahead and get my stuff out of the way because I'm pretty sure I don't know that I'm gonna be the popular opinion tonight. Like I doubt it. Because I see this more than one way, right? Like the first young lady, I agree. First of all, I agree with everything she said. I don't understand how we can demand respect when we don't show ourselves to be someone who wants respect. Now, first of all, do we deserve respect? Absolutely. I believe that you should give every single person you encounter at least the bare minimum amount of respect for being a human being first. Before they've done anything else or said anything else, you need to give them the bare minimum respect of being a person, right? With feelings. So I don't think that anyone should just be out here disrespecting people. But at the same time, like ladies, it does matter. It does matter how you speak. It does matter how you carry yourself. It does matter how you present yourself on social media and off. It does matter. Like it matters. And we are a society of do whatever feels right to you, whatever feels good to you. And not everything that feels good to us or feels right to us is correct. Period. And we should get upset when someone meets us where we are. Like you can't, I mean, at some point, I just need both sides, men and women, to take accountability. And I keep saying that, but how do you expect to change anything, if you still in denial about your part? That takes me to the second chick. So my problem with her is not that she didn't make some valid points, but that it's one-sided. Her argument is completely one-sided. And my problem with that is you're not accounting for any of the accountability that falls on the women. It's a cap that women cannot stop themselves from getting pregnant. And I don't mean abortion. That's way late and completely unacceptable in my personal opinion, but that's not the views of this show. That's just my personal opinion. But women, you cannot control perhaps if a man want to be loose, but you can control whether or not you're going to be loose or not. So you can control whether or not you are going to allow yourself to be put in a situation where now, you're pregnant. I just feel like, where's the accountability, right? Like, obviously it takes two. Obviously the man has some responsibility in this, but the man is not going to be the one that has to carry that baby. Let's just be honest about it. So do you want to be a single mother? I mean, because if you want to be a single mom, if you want to be, then by all means, you're doing what you do. But please stop playing the victim when you are put in a situation and you don't do what you could do to prevent the situation, and then you're a victim. Another part of this that's left out of it is, ladies, a man is only gonna do what you let him do. Stop letting these cats get away with this foolishness. Don't put yourself in that. Now, I understand a woman who get caught up, like honestly just caught up. She with a dude, they date, they together, they married, and they divorced. Like, I understand, I get it. Those things happen. That's real. But that's not really what we're talking about right here. Because she's talking about men who won't commit. And yes, there is a problem with some men who just will not commit, right? I ain't heard of the guy saying, of somebody telling you not to marry a woman with a baby. I haven't seen that, but I do know that there are some men who feel like if she's got a child, you know, that's not the one I'm going to settle down with. I don't understand their logic, because most times they'll have babies from different women. So I agree. I don't understand that logic. But at the same time, my issue with that is, in her statement all throughout it, I hear a little bit of like resentment towards men. And she's not the only one, because a lot of times when I hear women speak like that, it's in their tone. And my thing is this: how can you expect yourself to go from man to man to man and carry that with you? Like, every time you with a dude and you don't have sex with this dude, that's a soul you pick up. Like, it's totally so. Sex is spiritual. Like, people don't want to believe that. They want to be, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, whatever that is. But at the same time, if you're spiritual, then you understand that every time you are intimate with a man and a man is intimate with you, not only does he carry your soul with you when he leaves, but you carry his. And now you take that to another relationship, to another relationship, and to another relationship, and nobody is breaking any soul ties. Nobody is cleansing themselves spiritually, because the only being that can clear you of a soul tie, which is completely and totally spiritual, is God. But then, don't nobody believe in him anymore. So you keep going with this, and men are letting you down because you're not taking the time to vet. You're not taking the time to really get to know a person. You're not waiting to see if this is even really the guy you should be with, or even the guy you should just give yourself with, over to. And you're taking these things on from guy to guy to guy, and each of these guys are letting you down. And so now you don't trust men. And I'm not even mad at you. Why would you trust a man after all of that, right? But why would you also put yourself in that situation? So now you don't trust men. So now you have trust issues with men. So I can expect a woman who now has developed trust issues with men to understand why it's important to let a man lead. Now, of course, she's going to be questioning whether a man can lead her or not. Look at what she's had happen. Look at what she's been in. I know a lot of men who are in committed relationships who lead their households. And I'm just like, when did we get to the point where, because of my own personal experiences, now in general, we're questioning whether or not men can lead? At the end of the day, that's the natural order of things. Part of the reason why we're seeing the struggle and the situation that we're seeing is because we're out of balance. The natural order of things have been turned upside down. And I mean, I'm going to land my plane there, because I'm sure C Prince going to come in, with the assist. But I mean, honestly, ladies, like, stop being victims out here. I'm not saying that none of you guys have gotten a raw deal. I'm not saying that there aren't some deadbeats out here. We all know all of this is true. But at what point are we going to assume some responsibility for the decisions that we've made that all have consequences? And then when we're staring at the consequences, now we want to place all the blame on somebody else. The only way we're going to change anything is if we're, number one, honest. And if we're not honest about where we really are and what's really going on, how can we change? It's not going to do any good to keep passing the buck that's getting us nowhere. Men, be accountable for your partners. Women, be accountable for your partners. Say, I messed this up. Like, I need to try to fix this. Continuing to put a band-aid on it, justify it, and make excuses for it is getting us nowhere. You know, and I mean, I'm not even trying to vent, but I'm just like, ladies, like, it's all up and down my timeline. It's all on the videos. We making all of it's like, y'all, if you do you really want change? Because if you really want change, I'm with it. But then let's actually start with ourselves first. And the people don't want to do that. You start talking about that, they don't hear you. They ain't trying to hear it.
Facts. Go ahead, C Prince.
Now we gonna get it. It's about to get on. So y'all better be ready for this one.
Come on with it.
I think the woman in the first video is a BS artist. Point blank.
Ooh. Okay.
Because guess what? All women want attention. It's the attention you get. Understand that. They don't get dressed up to please themselves. They get dressed up to have people say, oh, you look nice in that. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between attention and getting over the top. You know what I'm saying? Sexual. You know what I'm saying? Attention and sexual is different. All women want attention. Because guess what? I'm not going out with no woman that just look average. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But we go out the club, I want my woman to get out and step out and get that attention. Point blank. Because she don't dress. I see her every day. You see what I'm saying? But the world don't see what she look at her best. You see what I'm saying? So I think the woman, the first was she trying to put a stigmatism on them. The what we see nowadays, some of these thirsty women, I want to use thirsty women, they throwing their lines out there trying to hook somebody. But guess what? There's some women that get dressed and they come out and they look presentable. You know what I'm saying? And you know, all women got different shapes and sizes. You know, some got curves, some are flat. I hate to say it like that, but that's how it is. You know, so what she said, it holds weight to a point because even herself didn't get no camera looking raggedy because she didn't want to know, because she gonna carry herself how she wants to present herself. You see what I'm saying? So all women do want attention. But now let's go to the second video. This is the one. You know what? I agree with the young lady. Not all men are meant to lead. Point blank. I mean, understanding sometimes it's going to take that woman to build that man up to a leader because he ain't got confidence in himself. Sometimes men are not born leaders. They are grown into leaders and made into the husbands and the man's in the woman's life because that woman built them up. Not all men are meant to lead. You know, a lot of people say that's kind of messed up. Shoot. Just because I'm a leader in my household don't mean I got to be in the front. Sometimes that woman's in front. When I step my foot and tell her no, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's not a dictatorship. That's
so Prince, let me question something that you just said. Mm-hmm. So you just said that all men essentially are not meant to lead.
Right.
So let me ask this question. How do we know that if that man has not been with the right woman?
We know
so
that.
Let me give you some context to why I'm asking that, right? Because I was in a conversation earlier, right? And you know, a young lady was back on that same stuff, right? So we got a lot of our ladies these days is on this, I don't need a man, I can, you know, I'm all this nonsense, right? And of course, you know, this is what always comes up when you get in these conversations, right? But sometimes I wonder when folks are saying this type of stuff, you know, I don't need a man, or you know, all men or majority of men are not meant to lead, or whatever that is. How do we know that if they have not been with their other half?
I'm gonna say this,
because at the end of the day, you know, while I've got a lot of ladies saying they don't need men, maybe it's just because you haven't been around the right man yet. See, you're basing your statements off of your past experiences, and see, we can't even vouch for who you're selecting. So when you make these types of statements, it's like, what are you basing that off of, right? Because at the end of the day, there's so many things around us that we don't even pay attention to that we need the opposite sex for or to support. So, like I said, some of this stuff I have to question, because it's like, if you have not been around that person, because I said there is a balance factor that's involved in all of this, right? So men and women balance each other, right? So that's one of the main reasons why a lot of times I cringe when young ladies say that they don't need a man. Because see, once again, then you saying you don't need a man, see, now you're missing some divine balance in your life and you don't even realize it. So yeah, I feel like we got to be a little cautious when we say some of these things, because the statements are not always based on, you know, the actual or real foundation to make certain statements. So I just want to put that out there. Go ahead, C Prince.
I agree with what you said, but the thing is, it's just like the concept that they say all black people look alike. Mm-hmm. All men ain't men. The same concept. So when I say men, I'm using it as a loosely terminology, because some of these women, they don't know how to fish for men or go after a man. And then when they in a bad relationship, they always say that man done me wrong, but he was never a man. So you got the pretender. Just because you a certain age don't make you a man. You see what I'm saying? Just because you pay your own bills, your actions still don't make you a man. You see what I'm saying? So if they carry themselves with childish or adolescent or young adult tendencies, you should recognize that they're not men. They don't have the responsibility enough to take care of themselves. How are they going to take care of you? You know, that's what I'm saying. You know,
I can feel that.
When I say women, you know, they help build up the man, because sometimes these pretenders need a strong woman in their life to bring out their potential. And I agree with you on that. And when they find their potential and they grew, they come into their manhood. They step up the game. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Not all men that you know they was the man they was without that woman. You know what I'm saying? So I you know, to me, I think not all men, or when I say not all men are meant to lead, I'm talking about the pretenders. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these dudes say they men because they got money, they look good, they in shape, you know what I'm saying? And they create all these kids or all these reasons why women don't trust men. At the same time, when the good men out here doing what they're supposed to do, and we held to the standards of this pretender. You see what I'm saying?
I got you. Like, shout out to my bad. Shout out to Peter for joining us. I just want to recognize him, man. Go ahead, Chloe.
I mean, I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't disagree that there are times where a man needs a strong woman to kind of, I feel like, provide them focus and to provide them, honestly, some men need a reason. Like, some men have been, you know, allowed to, you know, coast, or have never really had to step up and lead before. Perhaps they've been in situations where they've always had their parents or family members or whatever the case may be, and just have not been given the opportunity to lead. So they don't automatically know. Some men are coming from situations where they didn't have a strong male role model. So those are some of the times where, and this is not to make excuses, I'm saying I've come across these kind of guys. So you're right. The problem is, how do we get there, right? Because if we have women who don't want a man, don't need a man, or we have women who don't want to submit, or we have women who don't feel like men should lead, then when are we going to get to the point where that man who maybe does need a bit more direction and kind of needs a little push from this strong woman, if she is not potentially in the right mindset where she can receive a man who just needs a push, or receive a man who needs to be built up because maybe for whatever reason his security isn't there, his confidence isn't quite there, he has the foundation. I should say he has the, he has the ability to get there, but he's just not quite there, right? So he needs her to come in and kind of build him up a little bit and, be his partner, right? If we have women who are not really wanting to assume those roles, they don't want to do it. They don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the time. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. He's not here. He's not there. He's potentially a good man, but he does need some massaging. I'm not talking about trying to change a dude, right? I'm not trying to talk. I'm not talking about trying to change him. Like if he's a completely different dude, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm speaking to what C Prince is saying. Like sometimes a man needs to be built up a bit. Sometimes he needs to be massaged a bit. That's, I guess, what I'm speaking to. But if we don't have women who have that mindset, then how do we get to the point where these men who could be leaders but aren't quite there yet? Like, what do we do about that? Because I'm seeing a lot of women too who don't want to take the time. They say, I shouldn't have to do this and I shouldn't have to do that. He should know how to do this. He should know how to do that. But the truth of the matter is there's also women who aren't, who don't know how to play the role of a woman. They don't know how, they're not mature either in their mindset. They're older. They are of age, but they're not mature either. So, we just had a gentleman that said that at the last show. He was like, he was with a woman for years, waiting for her to kind of get to that point, that maturity point, and didn't get there, right? She didn't get there. He ended up having to, leave, and ended up finding his soulmate. So this is an issue on both sides. So
let me say this. Let me say this. These ladies these days, y'all getting to me. I'm at to go there. So, ladies, I see we got some viewers on here right now. I got to go there. I need some of the ladies to understand that y'all ain't really got y'all stuff together like y'all think y'all do. I'm gonna have to go there. I'm in so many conversations with young ladies these days around a lot of topics that have to directly, do with our relationships, the dating process. The ladies talking about is PP in the dating pool and all this stuff. And one of the things that I do notice, right, is a lot of ladies, some of these mindsets is just coming out of left field. Literally, just coming out of left field. And I'm not trying to hate on y'all. I'm just keeping it real because I said I'm actually in these conversations. And some of y'all views on some of this stuff when it comes to guys and relationships and marriages, it's all out of whack. It really is. It's all out of whack. I was in a conversation earlier. Shout out to my boy Scott McGinnis for the post. But I was in a couple conversations earlier with a couple young ladies. And the post was about basically Detroit is like the #1 city in the country, basically for single folks. And a huge percentage of the single folks in Detroit are females. And of course, when you hear those type of stats, it just gets it all popping. The feelings get going, folks get triggered. I mean, y'all know how it go. But yeah, in those conversations, like I said, some of the things that you hear, it's just like, how did we get to this point? Yeah, first of all, I think we all grown at this point. It can't always be the man. Like I know dudes here get a chance to hear that majority of their life. Yeah, brother, you falling short on this. Brother, you missing the mark on this. Brother, you what do they say? Brother, you creating broken families. Brother, you creating single moms. It's like all this stuff gets blamed on the man. And this has been going on for a long time. But at some point, there has to be accountability on both sides. Ladies, when are y'all gonna claim y'all accountability in this situation? Real talk. Because I see it all. Yep, I will literally see young ladies get on social media, take off half of their clothes, post it, then call men thirsty for looking. It's like, what kind of sense does that even make? Like, I mean, think about some of this stuff. Yep, then, you know, in the second video, the young lady is blaming the men for making the single mothers. Like she don't have a whole other half in that equation. Because at the end of the day, a guy can't create a single mom without there being some type of participation. At least I thought that's how it worked. But she didn't speak on that part at all in that video. She just directed all of that to the guy, then took a little shot at him about an Xbox and a PlayStation, whatever the heck she said at the end. Yeah, but this is what we're dealing with. Yep, this is what we're dealing with. And it's a problem. Yep, and at the end of the day, like I said, we got to have these conversations. That's why I make sure we have these conversations on this show, because I'm starting to realize a lot of people don't even think this stuff is a problem. Yeah, I mean, this stuff come out of people's mouths like this mess is normal. Yeah, I've literally got young ladies saying that they don't need men. But every single second they turn around, there's going to be something at some point you're going to need a man for. So how does that even make sense? Yep, I don't see fellas, and I'm just, like I said, I can only speak from my perspective. I don't see fellas going around here talking about they don't need women. Like, I don't see that. You know, somebody can correct me if I'm tripping, but I don't see that. But it's like this mess ain't normal. Yep, there's a balance in place that we keep trying to ignore. Yep, I don't know what all the bucking is that we doing. I mean, you know, I'm gonna go there. It's hard to even have the conversation. Yep, you get into these conversations and it's literally men going at women, women going at men. You can't even have the conversation without it a fight, you know, a fight ensuing, basically. Yeah, it's just the craziest stuff ever. And it's like, we okay with this stuff. And I think what the part that we're really missing that's going to come back to bite us is time waits for no one. We ain't doing nothing getting older. Kids getting older. You getting old and single. And I know, like I said, I know folks like to joke about old KS Kevin Samuels. But that's what it's going to look like for a lot of folks. A lot of folks going to be dying alone because we can't even have these conversations. Because folks don't even see that this stuff is wrong. They don't even see that there's something skewed in our minds at this point. And we trying to normalize this craziness. Like, it just don't even make sense to me. Let me grab this comment. Peter dropped a comment. He said, I believe a lot of women that say, I don't need a man, haven't seen what it's like working till you're 50 to 70 years old. Well, there you go. Going to work not because you want, but because you have to, basically, in order to support your family. And that's facts, Peter. Like I said, it's going to get real out here. Cole, you want to say something?
I would like to hear from, you know, a different perspective, right? Like, I would like to hear from the ladies. I really do want to hear from the ladies. Like, we vented plenty, but I would like to hear from the ladies about how they really feel about this, because the show is not just about getting on the show and then just like ripping people. I really want to know how women feel as a woman. Like, how do you feel about the state of the current Black? Because I'm speaking to our community, because this show really is for us. So how do you feel about the state of the relationship between Black men and Black women. Like, this is where we are, right? Like, and I really want to know, like, people who are dating right now, like people who are on the dating scene, like, how do you feel about the state that we are in as a community, in our relationships? Like, how do you feel about that? Because are we invested really in trying to change it? Because I'm like, hey, what can I do? I mean, really, this is so not, like, it bothers me. Like, y'all, it bothers me. It really does, because I know that we were literally created for each other, literally created for each other. And it bothers me that there's so much contention between us. So I would like to hear from, like, people who are dating right now, and like how they see it from their perspective. If anyone is willing to comment, or come on the panel, like, I really would like to know. So maybe we can kind of talk about this in a real way. Try to actually come up with solutions, instead of just complaining about things all the time.
Right. Go ahead, Mickey. You want to say something? She muted. She might be muted. I saw her unmute herself, but I can't hear her. Yeah, Mickey, we couldn't hear you when you unmuted, so I'm not sure what you got going on. But yeah, like I said, anybody watching right now, so I see we got some viewers watching us right now. So yeah, like I said, drop a comment or come on the panel. Anybody out here dating right now, anybody who sees this as an issue, like I said, join us on the panel. Let's talk about it. Drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Go ahead, C Prince. You want to say something, man?
I think Mickey, is she back on? Because her mic's unmuted.
Yeah, I don't hear her coming through though.
I see that. Okay. You can interrupt me anytime you get on your mic.
Yeah, Mickey, I'm gonna push you out. Why don't you rejoin? Let me see if that'll fix it.
I'm gonna do this now. Let's talk about these dating folks.
Wait. Hold tight real quick, C Press. D-Nell, do you want to say something?
So, I'll say this. Like, I'm very passionate too about us as a people trying to unify and to come up with solutions and things like that. But I also feel like there is a lot of animosity also, or like a lot of passion that people have when we start talking about Black men and Black women and dating relationships. I personally feel like we're in a space where, and I know, Quay, you talked earlier about how you feel like the Black man is attacked. And I hear y'all, and I hear that a lot. But I, as a Black woman, feel attacked a lot too, with this space that we're in now, with these Kevin Samuels imitators and people of that nature. And I'm not even going to say that everything that he has to say is whack, but a lot of his arguments, a lot of things that he says is an attack, in fact, on Black women. And to the second video that you played, I think a part of her point was, what she said was that Black women contribute, not obviously it takes two to make a baby, but they contribute to women becoming single women with kids when they leave or choose not to stay in the relationship. And then it's the single Black woman who is dogged out. Oh, she got kids and she's not married. But we don't have that same energy when it comes to Black men and our counterparts, because I know a lot of Black men who have children who nobody says anything negative about. It's cool. It's okay. It's all good. It's almost a notch on under their belt in some cases, So I just think accountability does, in fact, have to go both ways. And I also think that me personally, when I think of relationships as a whole, or us just trying to kind of men or come up with solutions in the Black community. I mean, for me, that transcends across religion lines. Like, I'm interested to see if it's a different perspective from Muslim. I know Black Muslim people, I know Black Buddhist people, I know Black Christian people. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out across the board if there is a solution, or what are the solutions for us to come together to overcome some of these issues that we do have, and in a productive and non-attacking way, and a non discriminatory way, or maybe that's not the right word, but to encompass everybody.
I got you. You want to say something, Mickey? Oh, okay, all right. So let me. Oh, go ahead, C Prince.
Now I'm gonna say this. I'm sitting back. Y'all brought up some interesting people, and I don't even entertain some of the people y'all talk about because I think they clowns. To be honest, I really think they clowns, because I think the biggest problem, especially with women who seek attention in the wrong way, they give the women who don't seek attention a bad rap. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a beautiful, attractive woman, and I ain't saying physically, I'm just talking about all around, because everybody got beauty in some parts that somebody's attracted to. You see what I'm saying? But I say this: what's happening with the young women, the attraction, the attention they seeking is an unhealthy attention. You see what I'm saying? So now they muddering the water, and now the older women are trying to compete with that muddy water. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to get that same attention the young women are getting. And I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth, because guess what? There is limited men. Now, listen to what I'm saying. Limited men, not pretenders, men. And that's why a woman will be with a man and be the side chick, the cuddle buddy, the going out to date buddy, because guess what? There's a lot of pretenders out there, and they'd rather play second fiddle to a man with a woman than be out there with a fraud. Honestly, I'm saying it like that because everybody, like, I know people ain't gonna agree with me, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get mad at that man if he could take care of two homes. Like the old saying, just because you got food at home don't mean you can't go out to eat. So women need to pay that attention real quick. But guess what? If a man takes care of his home and take care of his other home, and I know a lot of people be like, that's wrong to say. Hey, that's what it is. It's the truth. That's why a lot of these women are settling for a man that has a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because the pretend men out here, with their sports cars, the money they throwing, their bottle popping, you know what I'm saying? They pretend like they're going to take care of you and they care for you and stuff like that. And, I think I go back to the lion in the jungle. He's the laziest thing in the thing until you have to protect. You see what I'm saying? And you think about your great grandparents, if you were privileged to see them, your great grandfather was lazy unless he was working. But when he came home, he didn't want to be bothered. He get his food, he go in there, watch his TV, drink his beer, kill his boy. You spend more time with your grandmother than your grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And then when you see your grandfather, it's either a story or butt whooping. Because and then when he put his foot down in his house, you know what I'm saying? Before he put his foot down, guess what? Your grandmother ran that house. But when he stood up and said, no, I ain't having it in my house. Get out. Do that. Because people understand. We got to stop calling people men because of their ages. And we got to stop calling women because of their ages. The only thing you're good to do because of your age is drink and join the military. That's the only thing, and vote. That's it. When you turn a certain age, everything else, you got to grow into being a woman or a man. Point blank.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go, Danielle. No, you go.
No. I agree, because that's the other thing that I see also. It's like, it seems almost, as you said, Prince, that we are to respect a man because he has a penis and he's 18. Whereas, I mean, a leader, a true leader does have to grow into leading. I mean, and so there's accountability with that too. It doesn't mean that he haven't met the right woman to help encourage him be a leader. I mean, he have to grow into being a good leader too. There are men that are not good leaders, as you said earlier, Prince, and that's just fact certain. And then I know you posed the question, Quay, well, how do we know that? Well, history can tell us that if you a man who has not shown himself to be a good leader. And I always use this example, and I don't want to get political, but it's the difference between Trump and Barack Obama. And I don't mean to go political lines. My point is the difference is in personality. Barack is a strong leader, but he don't have to pound his chest like an ape in the jungle for us to know that he's a leader. He's a strong, he don't have to pound his chest. He don't have to be over the top with it. We respect Barack as a leader because he's charismatic, right? He doesn't have to yell and raise his voice to show that he's in charge, But then I would compare that to somebody like a Trump that's out here, yelling when he gets mad and has a little hissy fit and temper tantrum and all that. To me, that's not a good example of a leader. So that's my analogy with, in terms of a man leading. You know what I mean? You can't have a leader that's a poor leader, and he has to grow into that. Not to say that a man cannot become a leader, but there are some men who just do not lead properly. That's fact too.
I mean, yeah, I hear that. Like there are some men who who struggle with leadership. Like they're not. I do believe there's a such thing as being a natural born leader. I do believe that. That's true. My only issue is I don't know that we can base leadership if somebody's going to be a good leader just based off of qualities. What I mean by that, and I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but I'll explain. What I mean by that is someone can be a good leader and still have faults, right? And I'm not arguing for Trump being a good leader. That's not what I'm saying. Not where I'm going with this. I'm just simply saying somebody can be a good leader and still have faults. That doesn't make them any less of a good leader because we all have faults, right? We all have things that areas of opportunity, as they like to say. Like we all have faults. So I wouldn't expect someone who hasn't had any life experience at 18. I wouldn't expect them to just automatically know how to lead. So I wouldn't expect an 18-year-old who has not had enough, not even just enough life experience of his own to just already know how to lead. But at the same time, I think when we're looking for leadership, we have to be looking for the right qualities, because there are certain qualities that someone who is a good leader that they will have, but that doesn't mean that the only qualities that they have will be good ones. But yes, I do agree that a good leader will have certain qualities. I don't know if charisma is one of them. I mean, I almost would put that, you got to be careful with that one, because that's one that could pretender could be using to pretend like he's a good leader. And I, for me, I still tend to understand where Quay is coming from when he says, how would you know? We can't base that solely off of what we see or what a man says. A man has to be given an opportunity to lead. And if, as a woman, it does matter. It does matter what that woman does. It does matter what she says. It does matter how she carries herself. Because if she is also not someone who can support, because she's never been taught how to support and how to pour into a person, how to pour into a man, then they might not even be a good pairing. Like it might be a situation where, it's not that he's a bad leader. They might just not be a good fit. So they don't bring out the best in each other. And that's valid too, because as women, we're always told that we mature faster, right? We mature quicker. And there is obviously some scientific proof of that because of all of the physical changes and the things that we go through. But at the same time, women will reach the age of 18, and once again, without that life experience, they're not fit to be a mother just because they can be, right? Like, so we're talking about someone has to be given that opportunity, and without life experience, not a man or a woman is ready for those types of leadership responsibilities, not leading a home and as far as raising kids, or leading a home as far as being a breadwinner and being, the head of that household. I think that kind of goes for both.
So
On
I
both
have a
sides.
So I have a question. So that woman that you spoke of quite earlier, who you say that you feel like a lot of women feel like they have their stuff together, are they afforded that same growth standard as you mentioned, Chloe? Because you said a lot of men you feel like have to grow into leaders. So women that you're saying that are saying that they have their stuff together, could they also be a growth? Could that also be a growth area where they need to grow a little further, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not good women or that they aren't successful or good in their own right?
I mean,
So,
I
so
think, yes, I think, I'm
let me
sorry.
respond. Let me respond to that.
Okay.
So the reason I made that statement is because, like I said, a lot of the young ladies that I talk to in these conversations, um, it's more of, I'm gonna go back to some stuff that our parents used to say. It's more of, some of these ladies acting like they ish don't stink, right? So when we talk about you having your stuff together, a lot of these ladies are talking material. It's a job. Is she got a house? She got a car. Like that's her having her stuff together. But then when you get into her conversation, when you get into her mind, when you get into her views, it's a totally different situation. So see, we can't purely base having our stuff together just on material stuff.
Absolutely not.
There's still character traits, there's still all type of other factors that go into truly having your stuff together. And that's, like I said, that's what I was pointing out in that situation. Like I said, we have a lot of folks these days who want to go around saying they got their stuff together, but when you break it down, they really don't. That's the point that I was making in that. Go ahead, Chloe.
And I'll just add to that too. Like, yes, I do believe that women should get that same opportunity. But a lot of times, what I see is, and this, once again, this is just my perspective. Men are excused for certain things. That's true. Men are excused for certain things. They get a pass on certain. I grew up around all men. I was the only girl,
Facts.
and
Facts.
men were definitely excused for certain things. Okay, but at the same time, I think also what as women we don't see that I did get to see being the only girl with all of these dudes. The thing that I did get to see also was men are held to a certain standard when it comes to being men, right? And of course, I'm speaking in general. I can't speak for every man, but men are held to a certain standard when it comes to being men. Like sometimes I feel as women, we are allowed to make certain types of mistakes. We are allowed to take a little longer to do certain things as far as, with our, even leaving the house, even not having our own car, not having our own, place, like those types of things. A lot of times that's not frowned upon when a man comes upon a woman who is in that situation. But if a woman comes upon a man who is in that situation, it is absolutely unacceptable to that woman, because she's looking at it like, how are you going to, lead me? How are you going to take care of your family? How are you going to take care of me? What can you do for me if you don't have this going on, if you don't have that going on, if you don't have this going on? That man might be working towards all those things. But if it's just a perception, okay? It's just the perception of that man not being at a certain place is not received well. It's just not. So just like we had the example earlier about the 18-year-old, right? And how it kind of segued over into, the analogy of Trump and Barack. Like, an 18-year-old man, even if he is smart, he's intelligent, he's heading off to college, he's focused, he knows what he wants out of his life. Even if he's all of those things, he's still an 18-year-old man. So he might be a very good leader, but if he has no life experience, he might have all the qualities, but he still needs life experience. And I would say the same thing for a woman. I understand it. Like, you got a great job right out of college, you're making good money, you got your own apartment, but if you don't have no life experience, just like Quay was saying, that does not make you a bad bitch. I'm sorry, and I don't even cuss, but I need y'all to feel where I'm going with this. It's a lot of women out here giving themselves way too much credit. Like, we gotta be honest. Like, if we're gonna be critical of where a man is, as we should be, then we need to also be critical about where a woman is too. It's more than just what you present to the world. My whole addition to that is, I don't want no man to talk his way around leadership. I want to see it. I want to see the leadership. I want to actually see you put that into action. Don't present me a pretty package. And I feel like that's what I see happening with a lot of women. That's where the do you want respect or do you want attention? Because what we're putting on display on social media is real pretty packages, but at the same time, there's no content. So I mean, if we're gonna have the conversation, let's have it. But the truth is, nobody's giving anybody a chance because everybody's looking at each other through their own warped lenses.
Thanks.
I would agree with that.
Let me go
Herschel?
to
Yeah.
let me go to. So we're gonna do Herschel, then we're gonna go to Mickey, then slide over to C Prince. Go ahead, Herschel. You want to say something, man?
Okay, yeah. First, I want to say good evening, everybody. Good seeing
Hey,
everybody.
Herschel. Good seeing you.
Yeah,
What's good, brother? How you doing?
yeah, good. I'm good, good. Well, if I want to say this, man, I just feel like a big issue with what's going on is just that it's just a lack of just respect, and for both, from both sides. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you guys two things that I saw today, literally today on Facebook. So
Mhm.
these are two different friends of mine. We're not, we were just friends. We're not like literally friends, just friends on Facebook. That I put I think I went to school. One of them. So they're both females, and they're both in our age group. And they're both single, and they've both been single for a number of years. I'll see their stories over here, like they have this guy here and there. Next thing you know, they're not with the person no more. They complain about some issue why they're not with them no more. Blah blah blah. Okay, anyway, so the one person they put a story. They have like a story up, and they have like a little quote, whatever. Like they're in a little bathing suit or whatever. So it says, "Mama said, never love nobody more than they love you." So I I read that, and so some people be like, "Yeah, that's true," blah blah blah. But it just hit me a little. Like I just didn't feel, it just didn't feel it didn't sit right with me because my thing is that why aren't you just focusing on just walking in love, walking with, what I'm saying, walking and just treating love instead of worrying about who loving you more or less and this and that, blah blah blah. And so to me that felt like that is a big problem, possibly why she's by herself.
Thanks.
If you're thinking in that mentality, you're never gonna find somebody, what I'm saying, like that. So the other person, they put a little status today for Facebook. They said that like they were recollecting back to a guy that was trying to, like, I guess, holler at them, whatever. So he said this guy approached me and asked me if I like to travel, and I told him yeah. So then he said, "Well, would you like to go to Cedar Point?" She put three little dots, and then like pretty much saying like, "Fool, is you crazy? Cedar Point?" So and I saw other comments of other females pretty much like co-signing, like, like I'm sitting there thinking, what's wrong with Cedar Point? you know, I'm just saying, like, I mean, but it's like I get what she was saying. She was getting that saying, like, look, man. I mean, you talking about travel? I'm talking about going like the Bahamas, going here, doing this, doing like grown people stuff, whatever. But it's like, again, we can do all those things, but what's wrong with Cedar Point? I mean, like why is it so bad? Why are you making it like it's just so bad to do that? Like you're a loser if you just want to take somebody to to a park or to Cedar Point. And so then in my head, I was sitting there thinking, well, I think that maybe that's why she's by herself. And it's
Right.
just, but I don't know. But at the end of the day, again, so both of those things goes back to me saying, as far as just not respecting each other, like she couldn't even respect the man for just saying that. I mean, maybe he could probably take you to Dubai but he just wanted to go to Cedar Point. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give him a chance because he came at you with that. I feel that was a lack of respect for that in that area. And then the other person they just got it all wrong, talking about that whole like loving thing, like don't let somebody love, whatever that thing was I said, don't love nobody more than you love yourself. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if Jesus did that, we would all be screwed. That's all I had to say. He gave his life.
Ooh, you better breathe.
He gave his
Right
life
up
for
on
all
the
of us, and we're supposed to walk in his image. We're supposed to walk like him.
Right. We are supposed to, yes, we're supposed to take on his character. That's right.
So that's all I gotta say. So I don't know. I'm not trying to bash
Nikki.
women. Sorry, I'm not trying to bash you. I'm just saying, on both ends, we just need to learn how to be able to respect each other's. Just be more open and just walk in love. Okay,
Appreciate
that's all I
that,
gotta
man.
say.
We're gonna slide to Mickey. Go ahead, Mickey.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yep.
I have 2 points to make. One, I think social media is hyping things up more than they should be because everybody wants to be the next Kevin Samuels. Women, men, all alike, right? We're just throwing buzzwords out there to get attention, to get somebody to look at what we're talking about, even if it makes absolutely no sense. I don't truly believe that men and women think what they're saying. Um, it's just to get a reaction, right? I speak for myself. Like a lot of the stuff that I say as a woman, do I really mean in the grand scheme? No, I'm just responding in anger because you're saying something crazy. But at the end of the day, I don't think we really feel that way. I just think we're looking for reactions to get likes on social media. That's one thing. Um, the other thing, when it comes to as far as men and women, what am I trying to say? How we treat each other, or men particularly, what I see is that, let me back up. Like I said last week, when I put out my status about having what I need, as far as I have my own car, I have my own job, I have my own money, but I would say that because most men are coming at the situation like, well, I can't afford you, or I need to be at a certain status to be able to have a wife or a woman. I've heard that all my life, right? If when I get to a certain level to afford a woman, then I'll be ready to settle down. So from my perspective, if I tell you I'm coming in the gate taking care of myself, and I'm taking that off the table to say I don't need you to support me, then what is actually your excuse now for not wanting to date me? Because I don't need your actual financial support. And I've heard that my whole life, but men are, in my opinion, chasing the bag. Oh, I got to get this bread. Like you can't even make enough to support me the way I need to be supported. So why do you keep saying that? I feel like it's an excuse just to keep on fucking. Like, oh, I'm not where I am in my career just yet to be able to settle down and have kids. But y'all still out here making babies, so that can't actually be true.
So,
Okay,
so
so that's why I feel like women say that. Like, I don't need your financial support. I would like a man, but I'm taking that off the table so you don't use that as an excuse not to date me because I don't need your actual money. So then what's left after that?
I'm gonna write that down because I know we gotta get Steve Prince. I know we had an order. I'm gonna come back to that, Mickey, because I got some questions about what you just said. Go ahead, Steve Prince.
All right, Nikki, you giving it to him. I ain't gonna touch that just now. I'm gonna go back to the previous question. Do women get a pass like men? Hell no, they don't get no pass. Everybody gonna give you that little kumbaya, like, yeah, y'all got the belt. Hell to the no.
Wait, what?
What?
You said women don't get no pass?
They don't get no pass. Because guess what?
Wait. Let him explain.
Go ahead. I ain't gonna stop.
Check this out. Understand this. A man cannot carry a baby. So if you sleep with a bum and you, guess what? He's always going to be a bum. I ain't going to talk about the child, but I'm going to talk about your raggedy ass with your poor selection. Point blank. Don't be fooled. You know, everybody like, oh, we got to build the man. Yeah, a woman going to build a man because you name, guess what? If you look in the history books, you don't say behind every great woman is a great man. They don't say that. They say behind every great man, there's a great woman.
True.
Point blank. So
True.
Guess what? You don't get a pass. If you want greatness, you should be great yourself.
Oh.
And guess what? If you're not choosing great or making great, we have a problem. Understand? I ain't talking about he got to be a millionaire, billionaire, own his own company. But guess what? He got to be great in your life. If he's not great in your life, you don't get a pass. Point blank, you don't get a pass. But guess what? That's the problem. When people got excuses, they fail in life. So what is your excuse in your relationship? Because you're giving that man an excuse to be a bum, a loser, and a no good deadbeat, whatever it is. So no, you ain't getting no pass from me. Because guess what? I ain't settling down with no trifling ass woman who's dealing with these bums and then talking about she want greatness. You know what? You want greatness? Go back, learn from somebody else because you ain't learning from me because I ain't dealing with you. Understand that. That's what I'm saying. They ain't get no pass. It might not be a popular decision, but guess what? You get no pass because guess what? This world is created by men, but made by women. Because what you produce out your womb is going to be the next generation. So if you produce it with bums, losers, and nobody who has no drives, it's your fault. So you get no pass.
Okay, Brina.
Okay, I'm glad you cleared that up. So we was talking about two different passes. So I understand exactly.
He was
what
talking
you
about
said.
something different, but okay.
Yeah, I understand exactly what he was saying. So I was talking about ladies getting passes on some of this nonsense that's going on. So we was talking about two different things, but I agree with what you just saying, C Prince. So I gotta circle back. So Mickey just made a point. I think she's still with us. Yeah, Mickey just made a point about a guy and his money and not being able to, or possibly not being able to support or provide what she needs. Is that? I think that's kind of how she worded that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mickey.
Yeah, and let me clarify. So, for example, I live in Los Angeles, right? The average amount of money is certain, and you need to make just to get by is about $100,000, right?
Yeah.
That's just for one person to barely sustain themselves. Okay, so if we're talking about you want me to stay home with the kids or whatever the case may be, we need two of those, right? Or possibly more, and that's not realistic in this current climate. Unless you're a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, you need to be in some type of high profile career and even just to bust 100. So these men are coming at me like, oh, I'm working on my career, I need to do this and I need to do that, but I'm not looking for that, because you need more money just based on sheer numbers to be able to support us both. So I'm gonna have to work no matter what. And I'm not saying that to boast or brag. I'm just telling you that's the only way for us to actually survive. So I'm gonna be with you while you strive for your career, but you're not about to get over on me and just be fucking and having sex and then at the same time make a baby and then tell me I'm not ready for marriage because I'm not where I need to be. But you felt comfortable enough to sleep with me, and you also felt comfortable enough to make a baby with me. But yet you can't afford to be with me, or I'm still trying to get to where I need to go.
Man, go ahead, C Prince.
That finger.
Yeah, I gotta get the finger.
I'm gonna leave this one alone
Mickey
because
trying to get me tonight, but she's
I'm not about
trying
to
to
do
get
it.
me tonight. Go ahead, C Prince.
Look. Surprisingly, I'm gonna agree with Mickey. I'm gonna agree with you, but then I'm gonna disagree with you for a point. Yes. Any man that tells you that he don't want to be with you because you're financially steady, let's take the title of man from him. Let's take that from him, because guess what? If I'm being in a relationship with a partner, because when men are successful, women come penniless and broke. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the same when a man goes to a woman who's successful. Understand that? As long as the man is doing what he's supposed to do, success is going to be in your union. Period.
And let me be clear, I'm not saying he's saying he doesn't want to be with me. He's just saying he's not ready to be in a relationship. Has nothing to do with me.
Listen to this.
But
any man that says he's not going to be in a relationship, he's going out there all for women, that is a relationship. So that's the first lie he told you. Because guess what? I don't care if it's a one night stand or and that's your cuddle buddy or your booty after 4 o'clock. If you sleep with him, you're in a relationship.
Hello.
Blank. So guess what? So that's a lie in his whole tendency. I don't want to be in a relationship, because guarantee you, if you sleep with that woman once and she go back twice, that's a relationship.
Hello.
Understand this. So that's a lie. So what you're dealing with is not a man. You're dealing with a liar. You're dealing with a bold-faced liar. So guess what? When people tell you who they are, you believe who they are. He is a liar, because he's in a relationship with multiple women, but he's trying to tell you, you want to be with him. I can't be with you because I'm in multiple relationships. And guess what? I can't give you what you want. But guess what women do? They deal with them lies. Because when a man come to you and say, hey, babe, what's up? Can we do this? And you look at him like, well, he ain't really what I want. Or there's something about him I don't like. But he can give you all the attention and all the time. You will deal with that liar before you deal with somebody who's going to give you that attention. And that's why I tell all men are liars. Hands down.
Real talk. Because
a single man going to lie. Understand that. He's going to lie. Especially if he got many options. And that's what it is.
Look at that. I'm looking at her.
Well, I was looking at Herschel's face.
I'm looking at Herschel's face.
Herschel, you want to say something, man? What you want to say, Herschel? I saw it on your face, bro.
No, I mean, he's true. Yeah, men are, but it's a particular type of men. Not all men. Don't put them all in one category, because I'm not one.
I'm not putting them all in categories. I said the men who tell you they ain't in a relationship and they have multiple women. That's the men I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In the words of Cardi B, what's popping?
You know what? Let me say something real quick. Let me say something real quick. See, Prince, you acting like what they call it? You acting like a pick-me right now, man.
What's a pick-me? You know what that is? I don't know what it is.
Oh my goodness.
Ask these ladies. They'll tell you. You act. Go, Mickey, what's a pick-me, Mickey? Why don't you school see Prince real quick? What's a pick-me?
You know, I've actually heard a lot of different definitions, which is quite surprising. But the one that keeps standing out is someone who constantly needs to go against the grain, even if it doesn't make sense.
What?
He said that. I didn't say that about you.
She's not saying about you. She's saying a definition.
No, hold on. How am I going against the grain speaking the truth?
She didn't say you, Prince. She said the definition of a pick-me. She's not saying you are. Your boy Quay said that.
What?
Oh man, I had to mess with you. I had to mess with you, Prince.
I'm an opportunist when it comes to the truth.
I had to mess with you, man.
Can I respond to Peter real quick? He left a comment in there.
Go ahead.
And he said, which is extremely confusing to me, because he says, well, if I don't need them for anything but the social aspect, then what's the point? But if I say I want a man for money, then now I'm a gold digger. So which one is it supposed to be? Because if I don't need you for support and I want you for the social aspect, why? It sounds like he's saying that's a negative thing, and I don't understand why that would be considered a bad thing.
And wait a
Okay.
minute, can I chime in too? I think that'll be a great topic because I hear a lot of single men, a lot, especially over the age of 35 or so, who say that they don't honestly or legitimately see the benefits in marriage. And that is obscene to me. That is absolutely preposterous. Not saying I don't believe how they feel, but it's crazy to me that they would feel like that. Because
What's the
we don't.
context then?
We don't.
What's the context though? See, that's the difference, right? So I've heard that as well. But what is the context to why they're saying that? Now the
Peter.
But that's why we should have a show. That's why we should.
Yeah,
You know what?
absolutely.
That's why we should have that topic because
Oh, y'all
we need
mad.
to get to the bottom of it. If there are men
Yes.
who feel like this, if there are men who feel like this, then we should definitely have that conversation to see why men feel like that. Because I would want to know. I want to know. There is a hesitancy from some men, some there, and it's enough of them. Okay, it's enough
Yeah.
for it to have an impact. So there is a hesitancy for men to want to commit. And I would like to go into why that is
Yeah.
because I have a theory. I have a theory, but I would love, since I'm not a man needs to answer that question. So I would love to have that conversation.
Yeah.
okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna note that. And I said I know a couple of the contextual pieces to why some of the guys I've been in these conversations too. So we can definitely do that show. Go ahead, T. Prince.
Right now, when we do the show, make sure you make me come back to the jump off theory. So we go into this thing for men over 35. We go make sure you write that down. Make sure
Okay.
Got it.
And let me ask this, just for my own context, just so I can get it straight in my brain. See, Prince, you are single, correct?
No, I ain't single.
You married?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about Herschel? I'm just curious to see where
I'm
the
single,
perspective is coming from. And Mickey, you
but I've
single.
been married though.
No shade. I am too.
Listen,
But
to this.
you've been married, Herschel.
Let me tell you like this.
Herschel said he's been. Okay, got you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's important for me. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not being. No. I don't mean like that. I mean for the context, knowing where you are in terms of married, unmarried. If you've been married, if you're polygamous, all that plays into the greater perspective.
To my opinion.
Yes, correct.
Oh, listen to this. Let me tell you something.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, here we go. See, this is the thing about this thing to you single people out there. I'm going to tell you like this. Y'all lucky some of us are married. Because guess what? This is like a big old ocean with a bunch of fish and I'm a shark. Because most of these women around here do not have enough fortitude and attention to understand what I'm about to do to them if I was single. I promise you that. And damn. No, don't shake your head because they too busy texting, emailing and stuff. But guess what? The conversation is real. Understand that you listen 2 minutes, you might be in trouble. That's what it is.
This guy. All right.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm gonna keep it real.
No, that's what we want, man. That's what we do on this show, man. You know how we get down.
Yeah.
But I know we creeping up on that 10 o'clock. I know we don't went past our time. So I'll circle around. Let's see. We'll get ready to take some closing statements and get ready to wrap. So I'll start at the top, work my way around. Ladies first. Chloe, you got anything you want to say in closing?
No, I mean for me,
You said turn off T. Prince, Mike.
I mean, no, I for me, I think that the takeaway should be I think we all could probably, like Herschel said, just stand to show each other a little bit more respect. I think that if we did that, and try to meet each other halfway. Like I'm not saying make excuses. I'm not saying make excuses for men. Women, I don't expect you to do that. Men, I don't expect you to make excuses for women. That's not what I'm saying. First and foremost, we need to be accountable for ourselves. I feel like before we can fix anything in this dynamic between Black men and Black women, is we have to be honest with ourselves about where we are, and we have to be honest with ourselves about our own issues. Everybody has something that they need to address about themselves. We all do, right? And so I feel like we should spend a little bit more time looking at our own issues instead of pointing the finger, because while you point the finger, there's two pointing right back at you. So we really need to do that first. I think that's the first step. And then secondly, yeah, that respect, like just respecting another human being, understanding just like you have a story and you've been here and done that and been through this, that person probably has a similar story where they've been through some things and seen some things too. And it's not going to do any good to continue playing the victim on either side. Like we got to own our stuff. And I think once we start doing that, then we can have a real conversation about, okay, now how do we move past some of the things, because some of these problems we've created for ourselves. And now that once we recognize what those things are, okay, now how do we move past that so that we can have, healthy dialogue and we can actually affect some change. I feel like we have to do that. I don't think we can get anywhere while we're still blaming each other and not taking any accountability.
Facts. All right, I slide down to D-Nail. D-Nail, you got anything you want to say in closing?
Don't do that, C Prince. Just for that, I ain't got nothing.
All right. Let's slide over to Mickey. Mickey, you still with us? I don't know if we lost her or not. We might have lost Mickey. All right, we'll slide up to the fellas. Herschel, you want to say anything in closing, man, before we get ready to get off here?
Okay, yeah, just reiterating, we just got to try to our best not to be too judgmental, and respect each other, and and then everybody's situation is not it shouldn't be like a cookie cutting type thing, where this is just one way how it's supposed to be. I mean, it may be situations where the guy is like a Mr. Mom, you know what I'm saying? Where he's the one at home and the woman is working. I mean, I know that people don't agree with that necessarily, some people, but who's to say, what works in their house? I mean, that's if it works over there, so be it. You like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody just caters to their own situation as whatever's going on, you know what I'm saying, currently in their life, and stop trying to look at everybody else's situation and trying to match it and trying to do this or do that. I think it'll be less divorces, it'll be less, strife, less problems, And that's it.
Okay. C Prince. What you want to say in closing, man?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go. What's this?
It's Mickey responding back to Peter. Let me read this real quick, then we'll let you close out, man. Peter, she said, Peter, that's unfortunate you feel that way, because I feel like a real woman could never get bored as long as her significant other is supportive of what she's doing. I've always got my fingers in something. If he's not supportive, then yes, I might lose interest. Okay.
Mic drop. No,
No, Mickey got me wanting to ask all type of questions tonight, but I'm gonna be quiet tonight. Go ahead, C Prince.
Look, I'm gonna go back to the topic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back to the topic. The women want attention. Listen to this. This is gonna sound strange, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Men like women like onions. I'm gonna tell you that like that.
Is he talking about an onion booty?
I'm gonna talk about no onion booties like onions. Period. We want you to get dressed up. Right? We want to get you dressed up, get you nice looking, go out, have a good time. But guess what? Just like we peel out the layers of an onion, we want to peel you down until we cry and be blessed with what we see. I'm gonna promise you right now.
Oh my God!
This is what the attention you want to have from your man. So when you're out there in them leggings and you showing everything, there's nothing left to imagination. Guess what? The only thing you good for, Chloe, here it comes, is a wet ass. Hands down. If you in them leggings, you out there showing your goods, you ain't nothing. Hey, listen to this. All you is like a toy. I'm going to tell you like this. So guess what? Women, be like an onion. Let us peel your back so we can cry.
The views and opinions of C Prince do not
represent the opinions of everyone on this show.
of Candid Convos with
Right.
today. Okay.
All right. All right. I'm glad you got that out your system, C Prince. I'm glad you got that out your system, man. I'm trying to be cool tonight. I'm a little hot tonight, but I'm trying to be cool. So I'm gonna close with this. So I'm gonna circle back to something that D Nail said. I had to write this down because it's actually hit a nerve.
Yeah, because you gonna oppose me. Come on, you my opposer.
So D Nail made a comment earlier when she gave an example or a leader comparison. And she brought up Barack, she brought up Trump. And I'm going to say this, and I'm sure this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. Barack was a horrible leader. I'm going to say it just like that. Barack was a horrible leader. The reason I say that is because a real leader is going to prioritize and focus on what you need, not what you want. See, Barack was very charismatic, and he gave us a lot of what we wanted. He calmed everybody down. He led us to sleep for a whole 8-year stretch. But there was really no real change affected out of those 8 years. Now, on the other hand, when you look at Trump, I'm not saying this dude was no good leader. I'm not going to say that.
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, his focus was a little different than Barack's, right? So the point that I want to extract from that is I think a lot of where we are going wrong is our people have become so focused on what we want and not what we need. Yep, and every interaction that I continue to hear in these conversations that we continue to have, it's all about what we want. I want a guy making this amount of money. I want a guy taking me to Dubai. I don't want to go to Cedar Point. I want a guy who can do this. I want a woman who can do this. Everything is just want, 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 want. But I don't hear anybody saying, I need a man to balance me out. I don't hear anybody saying, I need a man because he thinks logically and I think emotionally. I don't hear anybody saying anything about what they need. Everything is about what they want. And that's a lot of our problem. Our wants have overpowered our needs, and our wants have been contaminated with all of this material garbage that we keep getting fed off of social media. So if we want to talk about solutions and how do we fix this thing, that's where it's got to start. We got to have these conversations, and we got to stop talking about all this want, want, want. Because as we see, want ain't got us nowhere. Yeah, let that sink in. Want ain't really got us nowhere. It's got us all out here, a whole bunch of us single. Yep, it's got articles coming out talking about Detroit got all the single ladies out of the whole country. One little city out of a whole country. So we need to think about that. Yep, at the end of the day, this thing really don't have to be that complicated. But we got to put some of these wants to us, put that to the side and focus on needs. Focus on balance. Yeah, like I said, we're talking about two genders that literally were created and designed for each other for a reason. Yep, there's a lot of things that men fall short on that ladies complement or make up for. And it's the same in the other direction. There's a lot of things that women fall short on or lack that men can compensate for or provide. And it's like we're literally fighting that. We're literally fighting the person that was created to complete us. Literally. Yep, and then we wonder why we get into these conversations and we bucking and arguing. Yeah, we wondering why folks don't want to stay married. We wondering why dudes don't want to commit. Yeah, we wondering why ladies getting bored. It's all right there. So yeah, I just want to close with that. Yeah, but I think we need to shift the mindset, shift the narrative, and we need to start paying attention to what we need and not just what we want. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's say shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to Mickey. Shout out to D. Neil. Shout out to Herschel. I said I want to give a special shout out to Herschel and anybody watching the show. We need fellas to come on the show. Yeah, fellas are a huge piece of this conversation. Yeah, we need more fellas to come on the show. Bring a friend. Share the show out. Let the fellas know we need them to come on and, you know what I'm saying, get a perspective. Let's say, because at the end of the day, we got to talk from both sides. We got to have women. We got to have men. Yep. So fellas, if you know any fellas, tell them to come on with us on a Wednesday and join us. Yep. Ladies, if you know any fellas, tell them to come join us. Bring some, some more of your lady friends with you. Like I said, the more, the better. The more perspectives, the more age ranges, the more experience levels. That's how we get there. Yep. So I'm gonna leave it with that. So let's say shout out to everybody. Shout out to Herschel, C. Print, Chloe, Mickey, D. Nail. Shout out to my guy Peter down in the comments. Glad you joined us tonight, brother. Shout out to E. Webb, even though she was supposed to be on here, but drop down in the comments making excuses. You know how they do. Shout out to my other guy Donovan Crawford, who was checked in with us earlier in the show. We appreciate you guys supporting what we're trying to do. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. We are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Share out the show for us. Help us spread the message. But at the end of the day, like I said, we do this show because we're trying to help us get there. Yeah, we're trying to change our trajectory as a people. We're trying to move us forward. We're trying to get these relationships back together. Yeah, we got to stop all this single stuff out here. We got to fix this.
You see that comment?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the dating series. You forgot the dating series that we got up and coming.
No, we already in motion. So I sent you an invite to join the group. Unless I got a little group built out. I sent one to you and Mickey. We're going to get that going. So it's already in motion. I told you I was going to get it going.
Sweet.
Did you see the last comment?
From who, man?
Ooh.
Who was it from?
Me? About logging off?
I don't know what he looking at. You looking at the front comments or the back room?
The comments, not the.
Who was it from? Peter, Mickey? Who was it?
Clark.
Mickey.
All right. Here she go.
Keep praying, sis. I mean, all you can do is just keep praying. I mean,
Mickey, we about to get off of here. Ain't nobody about to send no link. We about to get off here. All right, we about to get out of here. All right. We sending no links. We about to get out of here. All right. So I appreciate everybody. Like I said, we do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday night, Kandid Konvos. So definitely come join us. Join us on the. Mickey's still going. Like I said, join us on the panel. Let's say we always appreciate you guys coming on the panel. Let's say you can cut your camera on or leave your camera off, but always helps to cut the camera on and engage with us in person on the feed. So we appreciate you guys. Man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we'll catch you guys next Wednesday.